Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of True Confessions Naija. I've got a message for you today, one we received through our email, and trust me, you're going to want to hear this. It's a story that starts innocently enough, just a group of friends trying to make it, and then it takes a very dark turn. So the email reads like this. Hello, Uncle Ori, how are you? Can you please post my story anonymously? I am a Nigerian national, currently living in a foreign land, South Africa to be precise. My dear brother, I have a confession I need to share with you. My story began back home in Nigeria. It was just for fun, or so we thought. Me and my friends, we had this idea. We wanted to become Yahoo boys. We pooled our eager savings, managed to buy a few computers, some phones and laptops, and went online. We started trying our hand at online scams, hoping to catch some fish, as we called our potential victims. But honestly, that also wasn't for us. We just couldn't crack it, no matter how many fake profiles we made, how many elaborate schemes we cooked up, the money wasn't just coming. We were frustrated, desperate even. That's when one of my friends, a guy named Emeka, a real smooth talker, suggested something radical. Maybe he said, his voice low and conspiratorial, maybe we need some spiritual help, a juju priest, perhaps someone who can open the doors for us, make things go according to plan. At first I was hesitant. We all were. We have heard stories, of course, but it's always them, never us. But desperation is a powerful motivator. We were young, impatient, and hungry for success. So against my better judgment, we agreed. We found a shrine, tucked away in a remote village, shrouded in a strange, heavy silence. When we arrived, the priest, a gaunt man with piercing eyes that seemed to look right through you, told us we needed a cleansing. We were to be washed in a river, he said, but each of us had to bring a white chicken, a pure offering. We went back, bought the chickens, and returned to the Irish shrine. He started the ritual at his homestead, chanting a language I didn't understand. The air thick with scent of herbs and something else, something ancient. Then he led us to a river in the village, a dark, slow-moving stretch of water that seemed to swallow the light. When it was my turn, as he began to wash me, his gaze locked into mine. His eyes, usually so cold, widened slightly. He stopped, a strange expression on his face. The real goddess, he whispered, his voice resonating with an unearthly cool echo. She has chosen you. She has a great fortune for you that she wants to give you. My friends were awestruck, a mix of envy and fear in the eyes. I, however, felt a chill that had nothing to do with the cool river water. A part of me, a small still voice within, screamed, "Run, get out of here." But the promise of fortune, the idea of great life awaiting me, was a lure too strong to resist. I went back with my friends and we tried hustling again. Each of us now trying different scams, creating fake Facebook accounts, elaborate phishing schemes, but for me, the priest's words lingered. He had told me to return to his house, that the real goddess had chosen me, that she had something special for me. I expected a quick visit, perhaps another ritual, something that could be done in a day. Oh wow, how wrong I was. When I arrived, he greeted me with a solemn nod. "My son," he said, his voice surprisingly gentle, "you are going to stay with me for at least a month. You eat what I eat, live what I live, and participate in all the rituals we perform." And just like that, I was trapped. I ended up staying at this priest's compound for a whole month. It was a blur of strange routines, ancient chants, and a growing sense of unease. But the most unsettling parts happened almost every night, late when the moon hung high and the world was asleep. The priest and I would leave his compound. We would go back to the same river, the one where my fate seemed to have been sealed. We would sit there in silence for what felt like hours, just sitting, listening to the gentle lapping of the water. And then my brother, something would emerge from the water, something truly magnificent, yet terrifying. Each time as she rose, the sky would brighten, as if 1,000 suns had suddenly appeared. It was a woman, radiant, impossibly beautiful. Her presence so blindingly bright. I couldn't even look at her face without my eyes watering, without feeling like I would go blind. She was a river goddess. What surprised me, what truly haunts me to this day, is that this goddess, who was said to be so powerful, seemed trapped within the water, confined by some unseen force. If only I had followed my heart, that tiny, insistent voice that warned me. Maybe I won't be the man I am today because I was the only one who was able to free her. The priest never explicitly told me she was trapped, not directly. He just kept repeating that she had chosen me because she saw a very big life waiting for me, that I was bound to become rich even without these rituals. He said she chose me to fulfill that destiny faster. It was all a deception, a carefully woven lie. She wanted to come out, her spirit was trapped, and I, in my blind pursuit for wealth, became her unwitting key. Then came the gift. He gave me something that looked like a stick, but it was alive. The moment I touched it, a jolt went through me. It instinctively recoiled, jumping back, my heart pounding. Must I accept this stick? I stammered. It feels and looks like a snake. He simply smiled, a knowing, unsettling smile. This is nothing but a holy stick. He assured me, his voice calm, almost hypnotic. You must keep it with you, always. But one thing is crucial. It must never get wet. No water, no moisture of any kind must ever touch this stick. I took it, my hand trembling, the texture beneath my fingers distinctly serpentine. Despite its appearance, I rejoined my friends who were still struggling with their various hustles. But for me, my brother, life started changing dramatically. Money, opportunities, they began to flow into my life with an almost unnatural ease. It was around this time that I found a new church, a vibrant community. That's how I ended up here in South Africa. I was chosen among some volunteers to come here, and honestly, things started happening so quickly, so perfectly. It felt like destiny. I arrived in South Africa, and for a while, it was a dream. But then, the dream started. Not the good kind. The first thing I noticed was a woman, a white woman in my dreams, with impossibly long, flowing hair. At first, I dismissed it. It was in a new country surrounded by new faces, and white people were a common sight here. I thought it was just my mind processing the change of environment. But she kept coming back, visiting me night after night. Her hair was always the first thing I noticed. A dark cascade that seemed to stretch endlessly behind her. Each time she would try to reach the place where I was sleeping, her hand outstretched, her expression unreadable, but as she would get close, a bright light would shine upon her, and she would recoil as if afraid of the light, and then vanish. These dreams were relentless. I spoke to my mom, back home in Nigeria, sharing my unsettling experiences. She advised me with a mother's wisdom to go and speak with a pastor here in South Africa. The very next day, we were on a church fast, and I was scheduled to speak with one of the South African pastors, a kind, wise man at the church where we were volunteering. But that night, before I could speak to him, I had another dream. It was a juju priest. His face contorted with anger. He demanded I return the stick. He had not able to use it. He raged. He had forgotten why you arrived in this land. All those blessings you received, they came from my shrine and the river goddess. You have abandoned her, and now poverty will strike you down like the lightning and thunder. I woke up in a cold sweat. The priest's word echoed in my mind. I pretended to be unwell that morning, avoiding any mention of my dreams or my intention to speak with the pastor. Fear, raw and primal, had taken root in my heart. From that day on, the woman in my dreams, the one with the long flowing hair, gained power. She could now come right to my bedside in my dreams, sometimes even sleeping next to me. The line between dream and reality blurred, and those encounters felt terrifyingly real. As time went on, the manifestations became more frequent, more alarming. Sometimes I would be sitting in church and I would see her. She could enter the church doors, but she would stand just outside, raising her hands towards me, calling me, beckoning me to leave. And once I stepped outside, a strange energy would flood my body. If I tried to pray about it to fight, I would get sick, dizzy, almost faint. But the moment I stopped praying, the moment I gave in, I would feel normal again. It became clear to me then I could not serve two masters. The entity that had brought me to South Africa, the one promised me immense blessings, was waiting for me to serve her completely. She was waiting for me to acknowledge her, to embrace her. So my brother, I started listening to her in my dreams. She began to teach me, to reveal her true nature, and that's when I finally understood. The stick the priest had given me, it was indeed a snake, a python, not a very big one, but a python nonetheless. Most of the time, it transforms itself, becoming that soft, pliable stick that feels like skin when you touch it, but it's a snake. It was also in these dreams that the river goddess made her first request. I still remember the exchange rate vividly. 1 million naira was 16,000 rand at that time. This was the money I was to use, not for myself, not for investments, but to give to the slave queens I'll sleep with. Here's how it works, and this is where the true horror begins. I'll go out clubbing, and after a night out, I'll pick up local South African girls, the kind who are always chasing money. I'll show them money, a thick wad of bills. To them, it will appear as their local currency rand, but in reality it was naira. By the time these unsuspecting women I was dating would try to do anything meaningful with that money, it would vanish. They wonder where it had gone, why they couldn't use it for anything. And they will always come back to me, not because of love, not because of affection, but because of a strange, unsettling pattern. They will always say, what happens to me every time I'm with you? I always forget my other way at your house. It's true. Any woman I date, my brother, she ends up leaving her underwear with me. And not the clean ones, the dirty ones. Imagine she comes to my place, maybe spends a week. She brings, say, 3 pairs of underwear. She plans to wash them before she leaves, but she always forgets them. She just leaves them behind, and after that, she's gone. That's when the python comes out. It transforms to a stick and it begins to lick, to slither over every single item of the underwear left behind by the woman I've been with. And if it's an emergency, if I pick up a slave queen and take her back to my house, when she's fast asleep, the stick will transform. It becomes the snake and it will going to lick all over her body, specifically targeting her private area. As it leaks, it removes fluids, essential fluids from her uterus. That's why my brother, a lot of women have dated, After they have been with me, they start having problems conceiving. They become unable to have children because the snake, as it leaks, it removes the very fluids that make conception possible. All of this, everything I've done, everything I'm still doing, it leaves a very bad memory in my mind. A stain that I can't seem to wash away. I don't know how to remove this from my consciousness. Whenever I try to pray to find some solace, it's like a battle within my own mind. I once visited a South African pastor. I didn't come out directly and confess everything. I just told him I was tired of the way I was living my life. He seemed like an understanding man. He didn't question me too much. We were having a private counseling session, and after he had spoken to me for a while, he said, "My son, all I want you to do is to say this. This dark energy that is living inside my body, it should leave my body right now." My brother, that sentence, it failed me to come out of my mouth. Every single time I try to say this dark energy that is inside me, my body, I want it to. It was like someone was physically closing my mouth. A force, an invisible hand, clamped shut my jaw. We had the prayer session with me and my pastor, but no matter how hard he tried to force me to say that prayer, I couldn't. And the more we tried, the more I felt a violent surge within me. Finally, in a moment of desperate rage, I pulled out some cash, a sick quad of bills, and threw it at him. "If you want this money," I snarled, "just take it," and I stormed out of his office. But he followed me to my car. He stood there, his eyes filled with his sad understanding. "My son," he said, his voice gentle but firm, "I cannot accept your money, for I know where it comes from." When I knew he knew, he was the only one in South Africa who knew, who could see through the facade. I left that church and I had to move out of the entire community. I couldn't risk him exposing me, couldn't risk the truth coming out. I moved to a very private, secure, rich neighborhood. Here, I do all my reach out without anyone noticing. They just think I'm a player, a high ruler, because I bring home a lot of women. What all of these women I date, it's not for pleasure, it's for survival. It's for her. She, the river goddess, she refers to me in my dream. She said, "Soldiers have bought plenty. If you have grown weary and tired of fighting my battles, then I can raise up another like you. I can take my blessings from you, and I can give them to the one I would have risen." Her words are a constant reminder, a chilling threat that keeps me bound. I am trapped, dear listeners, trapped in a life of darkness, a life I never truly chose, but one that now consumes me. And that, my listeners, was a message forwarded to me by one of our admins. It came straight to our email address. It's a terrifying testament to the lengths desperation can drive a person and the irreversible consequences of making pacts with unseen forces, demonic forces. What are your thoughts on this? Have you heard of anything like this before? Let me know in the comment section below. Things they really happen for this our world though. Now wow.